You're watching WRKM Channel 22, number one in the region. The following WRKM broadcasts for mature audiences only. This week is going to be a heavy episode, I guess. I don't know why I jumped when I did that. I guess I just kind of wanted to go, please, don't hate us. But there'll be some funnies. But it's a bit of a heavy episode. We're talking about some real human experience shit. We're talking about value. We're talking about being a martyr. We're talking about a lot of the shit people go through. We're not entirely sure how long this episode will be because we recorded this before the actual show. We probably should record this afterwards so we know what we actually talked about instead of just going based on our notes. We always landed. There's never been a time where we haven't spoken about what we've spoken in the preamble. So I don't know. I think we're great cold open. Guys, cold open. Yeah, this is going to be a doozy. So let's get to it. It is Saturday night. Good Lord, the second episode of the year. This year better end a lot better than it's starting. Let's have the talks we can't have when the sun is up. Good evening. I'm Ralph Ortiz, and this will end in darkness. This week's been a little rough, for me personally. It's kind of messed up the flow of how we usually prepare for this show. A lot of research wasn't able to be done about the topics we really wanted to do. So we'll be shooting from the hip, and we really don't know how long this is going to go. WRKM, was very sympathetic to my situation and told me if you don't want to go on tonight, that's fine. But to be honest, I feel a level of responsibility. We're back. We came back from a long holiday break last week. It would be wrong for me at least, not to sit here and at least attempt to give you something for the listenership you've been giving us all this time. It'd be unfair, at least in my opinion, to you guys. So here we are. We will try to put together something that you will find entertaining. It just feels like such a hedging, and I don't want it to be a hedge because I don't feel what we're going to talk about tonight is bad. I don't feel like it's not interesting. It's just if you were expecting us to be on our usual madness, then maybe this episode won't be that. We'll see. I do have a tendency to go off the rails very easily. This week, something changed in my work situation. Let's call it that. And I was forced to contemplate my own value to that place. And I think it's something everyone's going through in this economy. I think a lot of people are finding that jobs are disappearing. Companies are letting people go. Google just recently had massive layoffs. It's insane. The entire economy seems to be, I don't know, I would say correcting itself. I would certainly say it's doing something to itself. But there's something going on. And a lot of people who listen to the show are probably dealing with that. So I'm now dealing with that. We talked about the OnlyFans economy last episode and how quickly that can go. Well, what can you do? First-hand experience. But let's start with how that day started for me. You know, it was the first time I woke up in a long time, not feeling about, you know, where I was working, what I was doing in my life. I actually felt pretty all right. You know, I woke up and going, you know, today is going to be what it's going to be. And you do the best you can for what you got. And you should be able to live with that. Feel proud with that. Be proud of yourself today with the effort you put in. Because I'm a very harsh critic of myself. Like, I'll be killing myself for this show later. You know, I'll go, I shouldn't have released that. That was embarrassing. But here we are. You know, you get a couple of iced coffees in me and I do just about anything. That sounds not good. That sounds like I'm a whore. Maybe we all are in our own little ways. But I woke up feeling pretty all right, and I put on this song that I wish we could play, but copyrights are copyrights, and we're trying to stay monetized as long as we can before they find the Brittany Griner clips. But essentially, you know, I played a song from Red Dead Redemption 2 called "That's the Way It Is." It's actually a really great song. It comes at a pivotal moment for Arthur Morgan. Not to spoil the game, but it's kind of out in the open these days. It's about a gang in the West, and that gang eventually falls apart. And this is the song that plays on his final ride to meet the people who have torn apart this gang, you know. And it's got some really good lyrics to it, you know. And, you know, it's a good country tune, you know. So it has that, you know, the many miles we walk, the many things we learn, you know, the building of a shrine only to watch it burn. And it's a hell of a song, and it's a hell of a lyric, 'cause it's true. You know, we spend our lives building shrines, you know, to our careers, to our family, to our children, these beliefs, these things we hold on to so passionately because they give us something, you know, whether it's money, whether it's love, whether it's happiness. We build these things up in our life and we tend to them. You know, the shrine never goes unworshipped when it's really important in your life, and we spend so much time on it. The only thing you can describe it to is a shrine, you know. And inevitably, sorry, all these burps from the iced coffee arrived. See, like that's the show, man. We're real. But inevitably, all these shrines burn because you must, you know, die and end in darkness. You see what we do here, dog? See, this is me like going, you see, like, come on, enjoy this. That's going to be me all week, I guess. I need to be valued. I need to be loved. But there's kind of a peace in that, knowing that inevitably the shrines you built will be burned. And you appreciate the time you have them. You appreciate what they've done for you in the short term. But they do have long-lasting impacts because these shrines are religions. You know, they're belief systems. And you know, we said in the first episode on this podcast, you know, 2 years ago, you know, January 21st, 2021, we said society was a cult. And it kind of is. You know, when you walk outside your door, there's a belief system there that no one's going to hurt me until someone breaks the belief system or someone breaks the social contract of hurting people. Now you're in a tough situation. You know, we walk blindly into it. We pay these taxes to a country or a government that we hope will defend us when the times are hard. You know, when other people try to invade us, keep us safe, give us the resources we need to live a fulfilled life. And depending on how you feel about where the country is currently, you're getting your fulfillment. You know, you're getting the most out of your cult. But we have magistrates. We have people who rise up the cult. We have a cult leader. And well, how do they get voted? By being a cult of personality. Like, it's not, qualifications don't really matter in presidential elections anymore, I've learned. They just don't. It's all about how does the person make me feel. So essentially we're just, you know, voting for mascots, which I'm all for. I love mascots. If each president could wear a fun animal costume, I think the government will be better. I think it's imagine, my homie Bucky the Badger, from the University of Wisconsin being the president. Bucky for president? I'm with it. I think he should be president right now. Some would say Bucky the Badger is a little bit of a goof and he procrastinates sometimes, but so does our government. So I think Bucky fits right in. And he's a Badger. Badger's a badass. He also, we're gonna put a picture up of him because people gotta see him at home. But if you're listening on the audio, look him up. He's a cool ass Badger. His sneakers always match his sweater all the time. He's fly as fuck. His Halloween costumes are as a brand, he's pretty great. Here I am campaigning for Bucky the Badger as president. Didn't think you'd see that tonight, did you? But I'm going for it. What was I talking about? Cults. Okay. But, your job's a belief system. You buy into it, what the future of the company is, what the attitude of the company is, who's your friends within the company, what department you're a part of, the tribalism amongst ranks. This guy's higher than this guy, so you pay him more respect. You know what I mean? This guy is valued as this to the cult because he brings a lot of money into the cult, so we value him this way. And you're constantly being indoctrinated with what your value is at all times, which can be a psychological thing. They like to beat down employees and make them lose their sense of value. It's easier that way. They stay longer. If they don't know what their value is, they don't leave. That's, I can't imagine anyone disagreeing with that. It's impossible to disagree with the idea that the modern work system has been built on cultish behavior. It's all psychological at the end of the day. So, with that being said, sometimes you rise up the ranks in the cult and you're valued by the cult and get to have a title in the cult. Now you're part of the family. You're part of something, and you start to like the other members. You guys start getting close to each other. You start building this shrine together because you're all worshiping under the banner of this logo, this belief system, and what it's going to achieve and how it makes you feel fulfilled. But sometimes your faith gets questioned. You stop believing because you start seeing things that don't line up with the doctrine. I know that's how it was for me when I was Catholic. The second I saw, it's a bit of a raw topic at the moment because at my old church there was kind of a priest that passed away recently that I have complicated feelings with. Not that he molested me or anything, but just how he upheld the cliques in that church that inevitably made me want to leave the church. When you're the father, or I guess what would they call that? There's a name for that. When you're a clergyman of a parish, you have to find a way to manage that and make everyone feel fulfilled. They're getting what they want from the church. No one should ever feel like they're not getting something from the church. If they're going every Sunday, they're learning the verses, they're giving money, you have to make sure they feel fulfilled and welcomed. And when they're not there, not saying you gotta go, treat everyone like they're a rock star, but at least let them feel like when they're not there, or their presence is truly appreciated. Hey, come to the events outside of Mass. Come be part of this community. Oh, wait, you have skills that could benefit the community? Help us with them. What can we do to help you express that while also maintaining this belief we all have in a higher power? That's really what it should be. But in essence, that's what your workplace kind of should be. An acknowledgement of value. Hey, this person's great. I'm going to elevate them because they've proved it to me. And your value when you're able to be let go. Because if you're untouchable, you don't go anywhere. They keep you, for whatever reason that is. They keep you. They're like, no, we got to do everything we can to keep this person. But inevitably, if the value's low, you're gone. So it's kind of hard. I always feel this level of bullshit when it's like, oh, it wasn't about you. It's always about you. It's business, not personal, but you're a person, ain't you? So I don't believe that. I think it always bleeds and you can't get away from it. How you personally view someone does affect their value. How you look at their work does affect their value. And guess what? Being a person comes into that. Because your work is a reflection of your personality. How you view your worship to the overall plan. I've been kicked out of a lot of churches. Let's put it that way. Well, not a lot, actually just 2. I've left a lot more churches, actually. But I think this week, I was faced with that. And the thing is, I know my value. I know what I am. Can you oversell yourself sometimes? Completely. If there's one thing that's true about most people, you're a mark for yourself. Even if you have low self-esteem, you still have enough self-esteem to still be a mark for yourself. You can't help that. It is what it is. It's part of the human ego. It's why some people spend their lives trying to kill it. I don't know if it's working for them. I hope it is. But I'm fairly honest about my own value. Fairly honest, but you do have to consider it when you're banished from a place. You're out, bro. And the thing that catches everyone off guard, and I think what pisses most people off, is you want it to be on your own terms. That's what you want. You want to be able to walk away from any situation on your own terms. Because you feel like you're in control. Feel like you have power over your life. Feel like you're not getting fucked with, right? You're doing the fucking. But sometimes doing things on your own terms can take too long, and the universe then dictates the terms. My mom said that to me, but she used God instead of the universe. I use universe in case, people don't believe. I don't want to force them in a situation where they have to, or they're gonna reject the message because I said God. But my mom said that to me, and it was true. Your terms can't take too long, and then the other powers will make it the decision for you. And then what happens technically in those times is the world opens up. A world of possibility you didn't think was there now opens up unexpectedly. And that's kind of how I feel with my current situation. As terrible as it is, I now feel like there's a lot more opportunities out there for me that I can go do. I'm no longer attached to a place, so I can now go and do as I please, and who knows, maybe do something that's great. I'm not the kind of guy. Greatness, that's not going to happen. Let's be honest. I can do pretty good. I can do pretty good. Greatness, no. Not on the agenda, really. Bare minimum, maybe. We'll see. But I think you can get lost on a shrine, man. You build it up because at that moment it means everything to you. And you think that if you just continue being a good believer and a good member of the community, it means something. But all shrines burn, and they burn for their own reasons. Someone burns them or you burn them. And when someone else burns them, you're left with a place to rebuild. And rebuilding's always difficult, because you get gun shy after a while. Because all right, I would like to rebuild a shrine here, but this particular one didn't work. Whose fault is that? Was I not a strong enough believer, or was the belief system flawed in the first place? In this case, I believe the belief system was wrong in the first place. That's how I look at it. So now I have to figure out a new belief system in that respect. And who knows? Maybe it gets replaced with this. Maybe this becomes my primary shrine in that place, because it's already a shrine in my creative field. Maybe it's, if we're lucky, this is very difficult. Like, let's be honest here. Like, listen, there are plenty other ways to make money. This is not one of them. The percentage of people who actually make it, very low. So let's be honest about that. But if you are listening, you can always help by spreading the news. The darkness is here. But yeah, that whole day I woke up with that energy of embracing whatever happens. And I'm not sad about it. Most people would be scared to death, but I'm not. I got a good support team. Girlfriend and family are dope. So that's going to get us through. WRKM has been really dope. They've been like, hey, if you want to pick up, extra shifts or appear on some of the other shows on the network, you can. And that's really sweet. WRKM has always been really supportive of this show from the jump. When we had 2 hosts and now just myself, due to circumstances we can't even speak about. But the support system's there. A lot of good friends, a lot of well wishes. That's another thing. Like, when you leave a place, you always want to leave it better than what you found it. And I didn't get a chance to do that here. I feel like I feel like I was making it better, but then with the social stuff I was doing, like, events, softball games, all that, I was part of the culture, and I feel like I was making the culture better at least. But then the culture went through a steep decline. Once certain people weren't around anymore, once I guess my spirit had bittered, it wasn't easy to maintain. It is what it is. So I don't feel like I left the place better than how I found it. So that does stick in my craw a little bit. Crawl. Is it crawl or claw? I don't even give a shit. I say it how I say it. That's my favorite part of the movie Lord of War. There's a part where I think it's the Liberian dictator. He talks to Nicolas Cage. And Nicolas Cage is like constantly correcting him on things. He's like, they say I'm the Lord of War, but I think it's you. And he's like, it's Warlord. He's like, I know, but I like it my way. Yeah, I like that was his little joke throughout the movie. Like, it doesn't matter how it's said properly. He says it his way, and that's the way he likes it. So man, sure, that kind of attitude. Sure, he was a dictator and murdered millions of people, but he was in charge. So maybe I gotta do it that way, not care about how I say things. Just that's how I say them. Is that good advice for people? I don't know. But in what I am proud of, at least, is the outpouring of love and affection from a lot of people. Leaving a place is hard, but when you know that there are many people who appreciate you being there, it makes it hurt a little less. It was nice to talk to, some people. I hit the microphone. My apologies. I will acknowledge it. But it was nice to hear from some people. It was nice to know that it wasn't for nothing the entire time. It was for something that people valued. And that's cool. I don't know what happens next for me. That's the crazy part, I have decided to take like a few weeks to myself, a week or 2, maybe 3. I did roll my ankle last week like a dum-dum. Yeah, I hurt it pretty bad. Well, it's a high ankle sprain, and those take a long time to stop swelling. But I can walk and shit. It's just really annoying. But just to heal that up, and then just, heal my mind up, heal my spirit up, focus a bit more on this for a little bit, drop some more content. I've always wanted to drop more content for this, so we have time now to shoot stuff, little dumb skits or stuff. I don't know. The world's my oyster, I guess, at this moment. But there's so many people going through this, now. And the one thing I will tell you, if you are going, through, you lost your job, you're in between jobs, you're looking for a new one, you don't know how to, gonna make ends meet and stuff like that. Bet on yourself, man, and go all in. Bet on yourself and go all in. That's all you can do. And whatever you decide to do, give yourself 100%. Give yourself 100%. Jordan Peterson, I know he's a very controversial figure. He says some things I don't agree with, but having read his first book at the very, I'm still reading the second one. One of the tips of life he gives is, hey, be the person you would want to help. Like if you see someone in the street or a friend and you want to help them because you love them, be that person for yourself. Love yourself enough to help yourself. It's a good piece of advice, even though it comes from a very controversial subject. But listen, man, if you take him in the non-thought experiment realm, but the trans comments are what really fucking hurts. He's got to stop being so obsessive about it. But the other stuff's pretty good. What's the old saying? Broke clock can be right twice a day. I don't want to say that about him because I feel like it's disrespectful. You know what I mean? But everyone has a point, I think. Not everyone. We'll find out in history. As we go on longer and do more research, we'll find somebody who had no points at all. Maybe that's me, week to week. Maybe I have no points. Maybe I ain't got shit. Maybe this show is utterly boring. But there's quite a few of you listening still. I don't know. It's kind of cool. But for those who are going through it, listen, be the person you want to help. Find a way to help yourself. Be there for yourself. Because that's, in the end, and it's not to be, dark or depressing, but all you have is yourself in the end. Your shrine's going to burn anyway. Yours, because you're going to die at some point. And all your literally, I was having this thought the other day. When you die, you're no longer the main character. Now someone else takes over. Now it's someone else's show. And I know main character behavior is like, kind of a joke. Like, oh, this person thinks they're a main character. Listen, we all think we're the main character. It's not fucking, come on. We're all full of shit. Let's just embrace it. The sooner we embrace it, the fucking better. But, your shrine's going to burn anyway. And the only people ever, your shrine then becomes your tombstone. And based on how you made people feel in life, that tombstone will take whatever that relevance is. But inevitably they die too. So does your shrine. It just doesn't matter anymore. You're going to be forgotten anyway. You at most after death have another 70 years of remembrance, if you're lucky. If you got some, cool shit you left behind, people, that extends you, but the time gets smaller and smaller. So, do what you can today to make your shrine as immaculate as possible. Because do you want people to worship a trash one? I don't think so. Come on. People want to see cool shrines. People want to go to the pyramids. The pyramids are fire, dude. The Sphinx are fire. They knew what they were doing. They were like, listen, Egypt's the shit, and we're going to build some cool ass shit. And we're going to tell everybody we're the coolest in the fucking world. Bam, pyramids, bitch. Sphinx, bitch. Look at the Incas, how they built shit. Wild. The Greeks, the Romans, man, the Colosseum. Bam, we out here. Bam. You got to think about these things. Treat yourself like the Roman Colosseum. Wow, that's fucking egocentric as fuck. But I like it. Because it can be humble if you're just doing it to yourself. You're not walking around telling everybody, I'm a god and I'm the fucking Colosseum. As long as you're not doing that, I think it's okay. I think that's fine. Is that okay? I don't know. We have all this time to think now. We're not hunting animals in the Serengeti anymore. We're not hunting for our food. We have all this time to think. So the dangers are more up here than they are physically, which, has led, I guess, in my opinion, to the epidemic of obesity. It's out there. It's happening. Americans are fatter per capita, and we stop taking care of our bodies because it's like, who needs to? I don't need to engage in tribal wars anymore. But I'm not saying we should train like we should. We should be indulging in tribal wars, but at the very least, have some skills. Because the apocalypse is coming, baby. Sorry, that's dark. This has already been a dark or a tough episode as it is. So let's not make it any darker than it is. But you gotta bet on yourself and go all in. That's been my motto since Wednesday. So live by the thing I just found out 2 days ago. That's what I'm telling you. Live by that idea. Why not? There are people who swipe and see a Gary Vee video and that becomes their fucking philosophy. Why not me? Why not me? I'm giving you good advice. Go all in. Now, there's probably going to be some people who go all in and fail, and I don't want to be held responsible for that. Like, I'm probably going to fail. So, let's just be fair to everyone here. Fair to everyone here. Yeah. That I don't know if I have anything else. I don't know if I have more to say other than, I've learned a valuable lesson about myself this week, that I've matured to a place where I don't let, others dictate my value to me. I have a strong belief in myself and I've maintained it. I've been able to maintain it. I embraced something that was pretty painful for others and did it pretty positively. There are people who called me who were like, oh my God, I'm so sorry to hear what happened. And then they would walk away going, damn, I thought this call was for you, but it ends up being for them because it's not that I don't want the sympathy. You know what I mean? I just need everyone to know that I was going to be okay. This isn't the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I've had far worse happen to me. I've been bottom. I've been emotionally, mentally, physically bottom before. I know it's not to have, and to wonder what tomorrow looks like, because life is about trade-offs. What do I have to sacrifice today to get to tomorrow? And then I'll think about tomorrow's sacrifices tomorrow. But how can I just get there to make those sacrifices? Thomas Sowell, there are no solutions, just trade-offs. I learned that from my dad growing up. It's no secret my dad was in the street, doing his thing. And I learned life's about trade-offs in that situation. What do you value? What are you willing to do to get what you need? And in going all in and betting on yourself, the trade-off is there's going to be a lot of resistance to that. There's going to be people who are constantly testing it, and you got to plow through it. You just got to plow through it. You got to believe when no one else believes. You got to shine a light when no one else is going to shine a light. And it's like pro wrestling to me. I've seen guys in, companies suffering. Dudes who shouldn't be in that company. And I'm not talking about WWE or AEW specifically, because I think there's guys on both rosters who are fucking suffering, but in general, I've seen guys locked into contracts where it's like, damn, I'm so much more than this, but I can't get past this. And I'm here for this amount of time. So I can't even in that time vouch for myself. Then when I go to the next place, they're not going to treat me like my value because they only seen, what I look like on TV. And that's kind of been my thing with, wrestlers who get used and wrestlers who get booked badly. I'd rather not be used because the mystique of my value is still there. But if I get booked badly, the audience sees me a certain way. And I have to hope that another booker goes, actually, he's got this. And that's not easy when you're in a bad booking scenario. So I'd rather just not be used so I can still keep the mystique and keep the expectations low and still be able to surprise. You never want to let them see you come, according to Al Pacino in The Devil's Advocate, which is a fantastic film. I'm probably going to watch that tonight. I have 2 films to watch tonight, actually. The 1945 classic Detour, which was suggested to me by the homie Revolution, and maybe Devil's Advocate. We'll do a double feature. It'll be fine. It'll be fun. Why I say fine? It'll be fun. But yeah, you can stay at a place too long, and they think they've seen everything you can do because they've only seen you in the situations they booked you in. They can't see past their own periphery. So you have to go somewhere else and show what else you can do. And that's what I'm prepared to do. That's what I've always been prepared to do. One thing I always asked for was opportunity. And that one word seems to haunt me wherever I go. All I ever asked for opportunity. No more, no less. I'm not asking you to make me champion. I'm not asking you to be in the main event. I'm asking for the opportunity to prove that I can do those things. Whether you give them to me or not is solely up to you. But I will find a place where I can get that opportunity. And you make your moves, whether it's within the promotion you're in or outside the promotion you're in. That's what it is. That's how life operates. If the booker that's booking you currently doesn't get you and doesn't get what you have to offer, go to another Fed. Go to another Fed. Leave. Because what are you going to do? Stick around? Chris Jericho didn't stick around. Chris Jericho built up a whole feud between him and Goldberg. And Bischoff wouldn't do anything with it. So WWE had one of the biggest historical entrances into wrestling when he interrupted The Rock on his first night in and went promo for promo with him. Showed his value, didn't he? Now he's a star still running. He's in AEW now. Dude has a long fucking career. Classic matches. Made millions of dollars. Eddie Guerrero did it. He was in WCW. Left. Went to WWE. Sorry, Bischoff. I don't think I'm burying him. I love Bischoff. Actually, no, maybe vice versa, dude. Maybe vice versa. Let's think about it. Like Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, they were pretty big stars in WWF. I'm trying to think, who did he take from WWF and made them something? Made them better than what they were. I'm not sure. We'll have to come back to that another time. This is a good question. If you're watching at home, bring that up. Put it in the comment section. Who do you think Bischoff made that was better off in WCW than WWF? For me, Diesel was world champion by then, so Scott Hall was IC champion. So I don't know who he made better from WWF. ECW, I guess, I don't think anyone from ECW either. Well, no. It's unfair because Eddie Guerrero and Benoit, they were wrestling on ECW. So it's like it was different. You can't compare ECW to WCW. So that's unfair, comparison. We'll have to do more research on it. Or if Eric Bischoff wants to get involved and tell me who he feels he made better, I'm into that. We'll tag him in the video and see what he says. I would actually love to talk to Bischoff. He's actually, to be honest, someone I really admire. I think is very misunderstood in the modern wrestling community. This is not me backtracking. You can ask people who personally know me. I love Eric Bischoff. He's someone I like hearing talk about the business, talk about story. So we'll put it up here. But you do have to leave a territory when the territory doesn't see you as how you want to be seen. And, sometimes you leave on your own terms, or sometimes you get booted and then you go somewhere else. You look in to the mirror and go, you know what? If I was just in another place, I'd be more appreciated. And, you got MJF who referenced that in AEW recently. He was talking to Tony Khan. He's like, you treat all these ex-WWE guys so good. Would you treat me better if I was an ex-WWE guy? And I actually said that to someone at my original place of work. I said, it just seems like you would appreciate me more if I wasn't from here. So maybe that was one of the straws that put the camel's back, huh? Oh no, I got coffee on my glasses. But life's a work, bruh. So work yourself into the main event. Work is a work. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be shooting at work. No one can take a shoot at work. It hurts everyone's feelings. It's too real for them. But why not book yourself into your own main event? Why not, put yourself in a position to win? Go to a territory that appreciates your abilities. Pro wrestling's more real than real life if you look at the business. Like, if we're really honest with it, it's more real than real life sometimes. It's hyper reality, and there's so much to learn. And yeah, I'm looking to find that territory. Once again, I'm not asking to hold the belt. I'm not asking to be the face of the company. I don't want to be on the posters of WrestleMania. Not asking for any of that. Just the opportunity to prove that I can do it and that I'm good enough to do it. And opportunity is the key word. JR say make the most of your minutes, and I would like to find a place where I make the most of my minutes. With that being said, I think we did about 38 minutes, 40 minutes. So I think that's a good length to leave you with this week, considering we didn't have anything researched. And I hope you enjoyed, the pep talk, I guess. And I hope it does something for you. I'm feeling a lot better having even just did that. So, it's really cool, to be able to feel supported. Like, listen, the TikTok is doing great. The This Will End in Darkness TikTok, to you guys out there, thank you. Like, that's doing really good. We're getting a lot of good views. To the listeners who found us and stood with us, like, that's cool, man. Like, I appreciate that shit. Texas, I hear you loud and clear. Florida, I hear you loud and clear. New York, I hear you loud and clear, man. North Carolina, Virginia, it's all the states that listen to This Will End in Darkness. I hear you loud and clear, and it's really, really something to have this kind of support. And honestly, it did feel nice to feel like I wasn't letting something down this week. Like, this was nice being here, keeping this commitment that we have, was really nice. And just being here, chit chatting with you. And now you see how far I'm willing to go to keep this going. This relationship we are developing, me and you, listener, just even at a crossroads in my own life, I will get on this microphone to entertain you for an hour, take your mind off things, or the things that are on your mind, make you feel better about them. This is our relationship. The show is called This Will End in Darkness because when I used to wake up at 2 a.m., sometimes at night when I couldn't sleep, all there was the darkness, and you feel like you're by yourself, and there's no one there with you, making you laugh, talking about the wild things in life. Whether it's, fucking, I don't know, Epstein conspiracies, beliefs in religion, Halloween spooky stories, how America's a gangster's paradise, like all these wild things you think about at 2 a.m. That's what this originally was. We would come on Fridays at 2 a.m. to catch that late night person. Now we do Saturdays at 10 because, listen, Sunday morning can be a good time for reflection, and some people don't have anything going on Saturday. So if you're at home on Saturday, bam, you get to have an episode. You get to have an hour of entertainment and maybe a few hours of reflection afterwards. So this commitment has really been so special to me. Jesus, like, what is this? What is this episode even? It's kind of fucking sad, but it's sweet. I'm endearing, controversial, kind of a moron, but I am endearing, and that's what makes this show so cool. But we are thinking of more content, like we are going to use this time, or I'm going to use this time. I keep including Bobby because it's funny, because just planning his life for him is like, you belong to me in turn, which his internship is coming up soon, the end of it. So we're going to have to do something big for you. I'm not going to get you a present or anything. We'll do something. But this has been an experience. 30 year podcasting, dude. Like, most people don't make it past the first 7 episodes, but we made it to 62. This is being 63. And it seems like life's only getting weirder and oddly tougher, but I will keep this commitment to the best of my ability, because this commitment is doing a lot for me. And, hold on one second. Just want to make sure this was recording the entire time, because sometimes the headphones hurts my ears, so I can't. I'm getting in the process of getting new headphones, but Bobby so far hasn't made me nervous about the sound issues, or if there is any. But I like to listen just in case something's off on my end. Jesus, that was a real derailing. Good job, Ralph. Yeah, bet on yourself and go all in. But then again, what do I know? I could very well be wrong. Who knows how this is going to end? But in the end, I will bet on myself and go all in.